Hello, welcome to Curious Chats, and today's special guest is Pete. Can you please tell the viewers about Lippy People and the Father Project?
Yes, so the 4Ls project stands for Life, Loss, Learning, Legacy. And Lippy People are a charity that use video storytelling to help people who've had really difficult experiences of loss. And so this project brings people together who all have lived experience of loss, and that's usually bereavement. So they've normally lost a loved one, and they might have been struggling with that, as it's always a very difficult time for us. And this is a peer support group, and over 12 weeks we meet every week, and as part of that the people in the group, if they like to, they can create their own video story which is about their experience, about their loved one, and then we use those stories to share with other people at screening events and to start conversations about death and dying. And also what our storytellers are amazing at doing is advocacy, and for explaining to decision makers and support organisations the ways that they can better support people when they're going through these difficult times. But even though it's all about death and dying, it's really fun as well. And people build really strong friendships. We've got groups who are still friends now, and they come back and see us, and they come to our screenings. So we don't want everyone to think it's all like really gloomy. Because we also try and have a good time and have the happy memories of the people that we've lost.
What is the purpose of videoing the stories, and what makes the project different from something?
So we really believe in the power of storytelling. When you kind of share your own story, you take control of it. You're kind of the one who's in control. You're the one that's in power. So we think that gives people a lot of empowerment, self-esteem, and also reframe things. It's called reframing, where the things that have been really difficult or challenging, all of a sudden you recognise how you've been strong, and the learning that you've gained from going through those experiences. What makes the project different is the aspect of advocacy that's also involved. So telling your story and going through the peer support group, that in itself is a really amazing experience, and everyone who does our project so far has said that they've come out at the end feeling better about things, which is an amazing outcome. But also we have this added outcome, which is the video stories, which can then be shared, and they've been shared around the world. That means that those storytellers, kind of the learning that they've got, can really carry on, and hopefully it can have a ripple effect and improve things for other people. So that's kind of what makes it different than being something that's just in a room. It then has this aspect of advocacy, which means that voices are being heard and stories are being told long after the project's finished.
Why is this project is the first project for people with disabilities? Let's start.
So what we found was, actually we were approached by a group of a community group working with adults with learning disabilities, who said that there was no bereavement support or no projects like this available to one of their family members who was struggling a bit with their bereavement. And we kind of looked into it, we spoke to them, we spoke to some other groups, and we found that there really wasn't anything like this for adults with learning disabilities, even though adults with learning disabilities are disproportionately affected by death and dying. Quite often, and what we've found now as we've worked with more groups, is people know quite a few friends who might have passed away at an earlier age, and they've lost family members, and they really haven't felt that they've had anywhere to go to talk to about those. Some of the support organisations, they don't really know how to address this with the people that they're working with. It is a really difficult subject to talk about. Like death and dying in the wider population is difficult to talk about. This is why our project kind of got started. But there's a real need within the community of adults with learning disabilities. And we've also found that quite often our storytellers feel like they've not been spoken to, that they've actively been ignored. Their voices haven't been heard. And we're, as a charity, we're really keen on getting unheard voices bringing them to the table, making them part of the conversation. So many of our stories have been about the issue of not being told when someone that you love is dying, or even after someone has died, not being involved in any of the funeral preparations, not really being fully explained to about what's happened. So we've had some of our storytellers talking about being at a funeral for their mum and not actually understanding what's happening. So they don't have the chance really to grieve, because no one has taken the time to talk through exactly what's happening. And so these stories really explain why it's important to have those conversations. We felt that this was a really obvious area where people weren't being treated with respect, and it was really important to share those stories so that hopefully we can improve it for other people in the future.
What do you think that makes the project so effective?
So what makes the project so effective is the amazing storytellers that we've worked with. And one of the main things that we talk about is it's as important to come to the group to listen as it is to talk. And that really creates a sense of togetherness and support from the group themselves, which is what they always tell me after they finish the project, is what really kind of has the biggest impact on them. There is a power to storytelling, and to also seeing and hearing from people that you don't always get the chance to hear heard. And I think that's what gives the stories the power and the impact that they have. And also...
Okay, so the reason why I wanted to speak to people is because I had similar experience. I lost a cousin. And if I was born, I was my grandfather. And the only person that I could talk to, well, not that I could talk to about it, was my grandmother, but because she passed away too.
Well, thanks for sharing a bit about your experience. And we know it's really difficult to talk about these things. That's why we think it's really important to have these conversations. And I totally understand that you felt that you didn't have anyone to talk to, because that's the experience that we're finding from a lot of our storytellers that are coming to us and said, I've never had anyone to talk to about these things before. And you know, when we do our project with our storytellers, we make sure that we say, you're going to come and join our group, and we're going to do this for 12 weeks, and at the end of it you're going to create a video if you want to. But we're not going to finish the project and all of a sudden you're going to feel absolutely fine and you're never going to be upset again, because we will get upset and we will have days when we feel sad because we love the people that we've lost. But it's important to open up, to be able to talk and try and take those happy memories with you forward. And I could suggest that you join our group, because we'd love to have you, and I think you would be an amazing advocate with the stories, then taking them forward. And what you'll also find is you'll meet some people in the group who then, after you finish the group, you can talk to when you're feeling a little bit down.
Is it a common for people with disabilities to cope with issues like people who are loved ones who are passing away?
Yeah, so quite often one of the biggest issues we see is that people don't know how to talk about it. So quite often support workers and support settings, they can sometimes choose to just try and pretend that nothing's happened and sweep things under the carpet. What we also see is people being told that everything's okay and it's absolutely fine, a sort of toxic positivity. And actually what this project is about is providing a space to say it's okay not to be okay. That's something that we try and embrace. As I said, we try and take it forward in your life in a positive way, but we never say don't be upset. And telling someone that they're okay and not to worry about it and you're fine is kind of the same as telling someone to shut up. And you know, we, as our name suggests, we're Lippy and we want people to speak out as much as possible. Yeah, that combined with also not being part of the conversation, and all these things are equally damaging. And we've had some of our storytellers' experiences really highlight this.
What's been a standout moment for Lippy People?
Well, there's been loads of amazing moments. The thing that kind of I find the most inspirational is when I see storytellers who join us at the start and I'm genuinely worried that they're not going to be able to speak about their experiences because they're so upset. And then I see them share their story, I see them record their story, and then I see how proud they are when they show their video at the screening.
Mm.
I've had one of our storytellers, who I think you've spoken to on a previous podcast, he came with me to pitch for some funding, and he won't mind me saying that he found it very difficult to talk when I first met him about his experience of loss. But to be stood next to him as he was pitching to this room full of people and telling them about how amazing the experience had been for him to share his story and how important it was that people continue to talk more about death and dying and to support this kind of work, that was something I'll never forget. Yeah, it's a difficult question because there are also little moments when we've recently finished a group and one of the storytellers who, when he first joined the group, was feeling so lonely he wasn't even leaving his house. He'd called me to tell me that he was going on holiday with two of the other storytellers, and they'd been out the night before, and he signed up to be in a panto, and all of these amazing things, and I was just, I can't believe this is the same person. You know, those moments are really what it's all about, because yes, this is about talking specifically about your loss of a loved one and a very quite specific moment and a specific experience. However, quite often not being able to talk about those things is holding us back from doing so many other things actually, and addressing this thing, this loss, and coming more to terms with it and finding ways to cope with it then enables them to enjoy so many other aspects of their life that they were missing out on before.
What does 2025 hold for Lippy People?
So, quite a lot.
Yeah.
We've got a lot to be excited about. We will be having 5 more projects specifically for adults with learning disabilities and unpaid carers, and you're going to be joining us for one of those, hopefully.
I will.
And so we've got 5 of those projects. We also have projects where we work with other groups. So that could be around like some life-limiting conditions, or some people who've been bereaved. We have an advocacy stakeholder group which is made up of previous storytellers, and we meet with them a few times every year to get feedback and to hear about what stories might be interesting to look into. So they will share with us some of their experiences that aren't related to death and dying, but might be related to loss or kind of some of the themes that I've been talking about, like lack of respect or not feeling part of the conversation. Yeah, we're looking forward to working with more partners, different groups across the city, really building on the stories now, because we've had a full year of 5 projects already, and we want to share them. We want to encourage other people to share them, and then for organisations like we know Aspire have already been using the videos for training in some of their hubs, which is amazing, because that's exactly what what the advocacy aspect of the project is all about.
The last question is, well, Miss Long. Thank you very much for agreeing with episode. Thank you very much, and I will see you next year in the project.
Absolutely, thank you so much for having me.